Welcome back to Avengers right here at Comicstorian. My name is Benny and I narrate your favorite comic books, video games, and movies because I have nothing better to do with my time, and it helps you keep up with your favorite comic book, video game, or movie universe. Today we're going to be continuing the ongoing storyline of the Avengers. When we last left off, the Avengers battled against the Celestials, taking a dead one's head as their base. They then went into the War of the Realms, fought against a vampire civil war, and are now standing at a point in which Robbie Reyes isn't quite sure what to do with his Ghost Rider. As they attempted to do an exorcism on the car to get rid of whatever is causing him to become the Ghost Rider, he was instantly teleported down into Hell, where the current King of Hell, Johnny Blaze, the last Ghost Rider, is standing there. And he offered Robbie a little race. If you enjoy this, please consider giving the video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And let's pick up right where we left off. Back in the real world, Thor and She-Hulk teleport in, and Cap runs in telling them that their facility is under quarantine. No one goes any farther without proper protection. Thor asks, what devilry has happened? And Cap yells, devilry is right. We've got a code 666, exorcism gone wrong. Outside, Damon Hellstrom asks, does their Space Corps headquarters normally weep blood? And Cap tells him, definitely not. And Damon tells him, splendid. That it seems I have successfully prodded your infernal intruder. The being doesn't reek of any demon or nether spawn that I've ever encountered though. And by the Hayden tribes, I have encountered them all. This being's power is staggeringly impressive and more than merely hellish in origin. But while fighting against their own base of operations, Johnny tells Robbie down in Hell the story of the Ghost Riders. That how since the beginning of time there has always been a rider, just like there has always been sinners in need of riding down. The Ghost Riders love to dish out the penance, almost as much as they love a good race. Hell, the first Rider Challenge was in prehistoric times, and back then the spirit of vengeance rode on a flaming mammoth. Racing has always been in their blood, along with hellfire. Robbie sits atop of his car and Johnny asks, did you not get the part where I said that this was a race? Robbie tells him, hell with that. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to be a Ghost Rider anymore. I'm trying to get rid of this damn curse when you pulled me down here. And Johnny tells him, yeah, that exorcism Hellstrom was trying, it's not gonna work. The spirit of vengeance won't let go of your soul that easily, not without exacting a terrible price. Robbie asks, you want my power? Fine, I forfeit, Blaze. And Johnny bursts out laughing. You are the worst Ghost Rider. Look around. You know what this place is? It's Hell, Kingdom of the Damned. Nobody likes their job. Hell, I have to keep control of Hell. What would happen if I just lost control of it and let Mephisto take back the throne? Because that's exactly what will happen if I don't get your power. I have to get stronger to keep a lid on this kingdom. Robbie stops him, telling him, you must have me mistaken for somebody who actually cares. All I want to know from you is... But that's when the chains grab Robbie and Johnny tells him, look here, smartass! No more babying the new guy. Listen up, because the King of Hell is talking. We're gonna race for your power. Or I'm gonna take Gabe for a ride. One that ends with his sweet little soul all in flames. Now what do you say to that? Robbie transformed, punching Johnny, telling him, you've got yourself a race. And if you threaten Gabe again, it'll be the last damn race that you ever ride. Johnny gets up, fixing his jaw, laughing. Congratulations, kid. You just made your first deal with the devil. Now, you're a Ghost Rider. Back at the Avengers Mountain, Damon calls out to everyone that he has the intruder cornered. He can see death, heaping mounds of bodies. Whoever he is, he may very well be the finest mass murderer in existence. But he's not of this time, not exactly. He was pulled into Hell by King Blaze, and before that, he served the Holy Brimstone. He's not a demon at all. Oh, devil-damned hell. Inside of the facility, an explosion goes off and a flaming being walks through. And Thor says, smells like hell. She-Hulk gets up stating, that not hell, Hulk show you hell! But as the unknown being makes himself known, down below in Hell, Johnny is watching Robbie race through the great lake of fire, thinking that this kid is good, damn good. However, the boy should have known that nobody wins a race against the devil, not in the devil's own backyard. Now, just then the demons fire cannons with human parts, and Robbie shouts, that's it! Guess there's no rules when it comes to a Ghost Rider race. Good. Because that means there's no reason for me to hold back. He pulls himself out onto the roof of his car, calling to Johnny, telling him that he's gonna drag him through the streets with his chains. Johnny rides up a ramp telling Robbie that he really should be paying attention to where he's going. This just became a motocross race. And just know this, Robbie. It's not personal, just business. Shirley Gabe will understand. Robbie crashes into a wall and he gets out asking, "The hell am I supposed to do?" But that's when the spirits of the past riders come out telling him that he either races or he dies. Them's the rules. Fill those tires with his last breath if he's gotta. Grease the axle with his marrow. Open a vein until the gas tank's overflowing and there's blood gushing out of the blower. That's the Ghost Rider way, and that's the only way that he's gonna beat Blaze. Back up above though, Thor charges into the being that has taken over the base with Mjolnir. "We will be rid of this demon soon enough." The being grabs Thor by the back of his neck and Thor coughs, shouting, "Okay, fine, Thor won't kill it." The being then throws Thor into She-Hulk and says, "I just swung Thor like a hammer while he was holding his hammer. That's pretty much the same as lifting." Thor struggles, shouting, "Nay!" Damon says that this being was a herald of Galactus, a butcher for Thanos. He is a spirit of vengeance of the power cosmic, a cosmic Ghost Rider, if you will, and he's completely insane. The cosmic Ghost Rider steps out of the flames, telling him, "Okay, maybe Thor was right. There's nothing very worthy about me, is there? Name's Frank Castle, the guy who's here to murder the Avengers, and I won't lie, this is gonna get messy." With the great threat revealed, Thor charges in with his hammer, shouting, "Have at thee, Hellspawn!" But Frank blasts Thor with the power cosmic, telling him, "The most annoying thing about time travel is having to kill the same loser all over again. It just gets old after a while." As Thor flies to the wall, Frank asks, "Where am I anyway? Why do I want to murder the Avengers? Last thing I remember, I was in hell with that Blaze fella. Where did..." She-Hulk runs in, grabbing Frank by the skull, slamming him down onto the hander of Mjolnir, lodging him in place. Thor holds his hand out, telling him, "Gladly." The hammer rips Frank's head off, and Thor says, "Perhaps now he will feel more apt to explain himself." Frank opens his mouth, breathing hellfire on Thor, telling him, "Even as a skull, Frank Castle's more of a man than you. My headless body ain't too shabby either, huh?" After beating She-Hulk down, Frank tells him, "You know what, I've got a better idea. Something I haven't done in a while. Murder people with my own decapitated head." He bashes She-Hulk with his own flaming skull, and then he sets it back on his shoulder, telling her, "Now you need to explain why I'm here and why you're working for that bum Blaze." Thor and She-Hulk get back up, with Thor shouting, "Nay, we did not bring you here, though we are gladly going to send you back. It is time, my lady." She-Hulk places her hands on Thor's shoulder, transferring her gamma energy into him so that Thor may release his special gamma lightning. The green blast launches Frank across the Avengers mountain, and as he gets back up, he tells them, "Okay, now you done it. I was just gonna maim you, but what? That actually hurt. Now I'm going to burn you all into oblivion. Say hello to the power cosmic, Avengers." Just then, Captain Marvel flies at him, telling him, "Hello." But down in hell, Johnny rides his bike towards the finish line, thinking to himself that he feels bad that it had to end this way. But Robbie can't blame him. It was that Uncle Eli who... But suddenly the roar of the Hell Charger can be heard as Robbie ramps into the air, slamming down onto Johnny and his bike. He burns out as he speeds away, yelling, "Kiss my Hell Charger goodbye, Johnny!" Crippled and broken, Johnny quietly says that he was doing him a favor. "This is not a race that anyone wants to win. Guess it's time to bring out the big guns." Up ahead, Robbie races towards the finish line as the ground in front of him begins to crack and split open. A giant hand reaches out, pulling up the rest of the Celestial Callus the Void, blocking Robbie's path. And Robbie asks, "Really? It took all the Avengers to stop this guy the last time." But a gruff voice calls out to Robbie, telling him that ain't Callus anymore, Roberto. Imagine the power of a god at the hands of your friendly neighborhood serial killer. Robbie begins to drive around, realizing that the voice from Callus is actually his Uncle Eli. Up on the surface, Captain Marvel is focusing her photon blast at Frank, while Frank is using his other hand to put something together. Captain Marvel yells that she can do this all day. "Screw the power cosmic, I had 2 bowls of cereal this morning." And Frank tells her, yeah, it's good to have goals and stuff. Hell, I had goals back before I got these crazy space powers. Back then when it was Frank and a gun. Using Iron Man's spare parts, Frank fires a makeshift repulsor, and Captain Marvel shouts, "This is why Tony needs to always pick up his clothes." But before Frank has a chance to take off, Black Panther and Wakandan tech powered up Cap charge in, punching and knocking Frank to the ground. In the back, Hellstrom watches, stating that these wretched Ghost Riders get even more annoying with every new iteration. But you, Blade, seem rather uninterested. Blade tells him all of this power cosmic space god mumbo jumbo isn't his kind of fight. would rather they get back to the Hellfire and possessed hot rods. Boy Thing reaches out trying to contain Frank, but Frank releases an inferno that burns off Boy Thing, and then he asks if he's really sending a houseplant after him now. You guys sure you're Avengers? Blade gets up telling Hellstrom that this just became his fight, and a single gunshot can be heard as his shot hits Frank's bike, throwing him off of it. Frank gets up asking Blade, "Did you really just shoot my bike? Pal, you must really want to die in the most ridiculously agonizing way ever. What the hell kind of gun is?" Blade fires the breathing gun once again into Frank's shoulder, telling him, "It's the kind of gun that puts holes in walking skeletons." Frank starts to laugh, telling everyone, "You know what, I'm starting to like you all. Maybe you should have become my sidekicks instead of that scumbag Blazes." Thor asks, "What manner of ignoramus would believe the Avengers are conspiring with the King of Hell?" Frank pauses for a moment. Okay, this is making sense. Going to just throw out a my bad on this one. Things may have gotten a little turned around. In my defense, I was out in space when I got pulled into hell by that Blaze jerk. Then there was something about a big race and yada yada yada. I just wanted to murder the dude a bunch and get the hell out of there. Then I was thrown in the back of some stupid car. Captain Marvel says that would be Robbie's car, but how could we all get into hell to help him? As everyone turns to Hellstrom, he says, "Don't look at me. You wanted an exorcist, not a tour guide. You guys are on your own." Frank tells him, "Nah, I can get you into hell. I'll join your team for now. But this isn't just some fight. This is a challenge of the Ghost Riders. If you want to join in, you're gonna have to build yourselves one very important thing. A sweet-ass ride." Back below, Eli tells Robbie that he turned his back on his family and that was a bad idea. And Robbie shouts that he's a dead psychopath, the one who wanted to turn him into a sadistic monster, the one who gave him these powers. Robbie then steps on the gas, driving off the ledge through Eli, telling him, "And I will never be like you. I will never be a Ghost Rider again." Eli begins to laugh, telling him, "You're even dumber than Blaze. You're one hell of a monster. The biggest, baddest monster on 4 wheels. But that'll never happen, will it?" Robbie stops, stepping out, asking, "You want to see a monster? Then come on. I'll show you a monster." Eli tells him, "Yeah, sure you are. And it ain't just you who sees it." But before Robbie can send in his attack, he stops, realizing who's watching. "Mom? Dad?" His parents look at him asking what happened to him, what has he become? And Robbie asks, "How? Why are you here? Are you really dead?" Robbie's father says, "Yes, we are." And Eli yells, "And soon you'll join them." Eli punches down on the Hellcharger as Johnny rides by, telling him, "Tough break, kid. But hey, don't worry too much. Once the race is over, you'll never have to be a Ghost Rider again, and you can join your family in hell." Eli swings again, but his fist crushes down on Robbie, and Robbie begins to push back the giant fist, telling him that everyone keeps telling him that he's the worst Ghost Rider, like it's supposed to be an insult. But what have Ghost Riders ever done except bring misery on themselves and everyone that they loved? They've all died alone or went crazy. Robbie's Hellfire chain lashes out, wrapping around Eli's massive arm, and then it cuts it off at the shoulder. Robbie then pulls on the chain, telling him, "I'm an Avenger, and I'll be damned if I lose this race." The chain whips, and Robbie uses the giant celestial arm to begin beating Eli with it. And Eli shouts that he's too late. "I don't even care anymore." And then a voice says that they can help him with that. Robbie looks up to see the Avengers riding into hell on a stark Wakandan-powered Asgardian boat. And Captain Marvel tells them that they have a race that needs winning. Now get in and point us towards the finish line. Up ahead, Johnny rides through, telling himself, "I'm doing the right thing. Nobody knows what it's like down here, what it takes to run this place." But as Johnny passes by, he sees the demons standing around and he shouts for them to kneel before their king. "Kneel before your god!" Blade then jumps down, slicing Johnny's bike in half, telling him, "You are not a god." Thor then charges in, knocking Johnny down, setting his hammer down on his chest. Johnny begins to sink into the ground, asking, "Is that the best you can do? Send me to hell!" And just then, as Thor looks down at the ground, something hits him in the back of the head. Johnny appears holding out his arm, stating that he was born a gearhead and a carny. Built his bike from junkyard scrap when he was 9. They think that he doesn't know a thing or two about swinging a hammer, or a hammer made from a Hellfire bike. As Thor and Johnny begin their battle, up above all of it, Captain Marvel tells Robbie that it looks like they just took the lead. This is the first part in Fast and the Furious where they hit the nitrous button. Hit it! She-Hulk channels her gamma energy into the engines and the ship suddenly rockets off. Johnny looks up yelling, "Yeah, they're getting away! Where is that useless Eli? He was given an entire dead Celestial to possess!" Frank holds Eli's head up, telling him, "And he didn't like the penance stare too much. But hey, we weren't properly introduced, were we? Name's Frank! Okay, time for you to die horribly." Frank tells him that he really is a moron. The only thing that he's good at is getting his own family murdered. Anyway, enjoy the demons, got a race to win. But afterwards, I'll be happy to race you when this is all over. Up on the ship, the demons begin to climb aboard, and Captain Marvel says that she and She-Hulk will clear a path. Take the wheel, Robbie! Robbie looks around stating that he doesn't need to take the wheel. This isn't just any race. It's the ancient challenge of the Ghost Riders, and there's only one thing that will win this. Being like a Ghost Rider. He uses his power to take full control of the ship and rocket it even faster at the finish line. Johnny watches as Robbie passes, shouting, "No!" The ship crashes into the Hell Throne and Johnny yells, "What the hell did you just do?" Robbie jumps down, punching Johnny, telling him that he just won the stupid Hell race by showing him that a Ghost Rider doesn't have to ride alone. Then maybe it's best when they don't, even in the darkest depths of hell. And you, Blaze, you seem like you could sure use a family right about now. Robbie holds out his hand, and as Johnny grabs it, he tells him, "That was a cute speech, but family won't save you when you sit on that throne. You aren't ready to rule hell." Robbie tells him good because he never will. He doesn't want the throne. Johnny pauses, telling him, "Are you abdicating the throne? You're leaving me down here without the power to rule? Maybe you do have Eli's cruelty." Just then Frank walks in shouting, "Where is he? Time to die, Blaze!" Johnny tells him, "Maybe, someday. But believe me, the worst thing you could ever do to me right now is just walk away." Arms begin to reach out from underground, grabbing for Johnny, but before Frank can stop them, Johnny's taken underground. After the race, Robbie says his goodbyes to his parents, and he allows the Ghost Riders of old to watch over them. But still, there's another story elsewhere. In Turkey, Iron Man is continuing his scans in the cave that was dug out, the place where he found an ancient Iron Man helmet. With every scan, Iron Man gets the same thing. Nothing. He looks back at the helmet again, asking what is it hiding, and that's when the suit tells him that there's an unknown energy surge detected. The helmet lights up green and says Reg Mephisto. Iron Man documents his find, stating that it's been some months since this all happened. He's not sure if it was magic, a spell, or whatever, but right now, there's a super winter going on outside, and he's pretty sure that that won't keep the saber-tooth tigers from prowling around the cave. The repaired gauntlet died this morning, and the armor is useless. There's a blood moon tonight, and that means that he'll be coming around. Because he's Tony Stark, the smartest caveman in the world. The smartest man stranded in 1 million BCE. And that brings us to the conclusion of the challenge of the Ghost Riders right here at Comicstorian. Now, every Thursday, I bring you an Avengers or a Justice League chapter, keeping you up to date on the Doom War and the Avengers 1 million BC. I hope you guys are excited. Subscribe to the channel, as it will be back in 2 weeks with the next part of this. And don't forget, you can also find us over at Patreon at patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you get early access to everything that we're doing over there. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I'll see you right here.